Christ, who was obedient even unto death, as the St. Paul says. And then he goes on to describe that obedience is not just about doing what you're told. It's about doing it in a certain way. It's about responding to the needs of the moment as expressed through your relationships with other people. And you have to hope that other people who are asking you to do something are decent people, and that they're healthy people, and they're not making you feel inferior because of the way they're asking you to do something. You have to hope that they also are learning to be obedient. But then he says, if you respond to these moments where you see a growth opportunity to become obedient, then do it with a willing heart. Do it peacefully and happily, not cringing, not sluggish, not half-hearted, and above all, don't grumble. Non-murmurare, he said. Do not murmur. He's murmuring several times in the rules. He remarks on murmuring as a kind of a real poison in the life of the community. People don't say out aloud what they're feeling to the person they should say it to, but they bottle it up and then they start murmuring and gossiping. So even in the heart, he says, even if you just don't murmur out loud, don't murmur in your heart either. So this challenge to be obedient is one that takes you really to the core of an inner purification. So there are two issues I'd like to end on. One is, who is the oblate obedient to when they don't live in a Benedictine community physically? What does obedience is pretty clear when you have a structured life of a regular, community living together. But what is obedience in this sense to the oblate? Clearly, the oblate has to be obedient. But how? How is that lived? And how is it expressed? And it needs to be even more interiorized in the oblate life outside of the monastery or outside of the community. It needs to be more deeply interiorized if it's not just to become a kind of a platitude, if it's meant to be a real precept, not just a platitude. So that's one question for another occasion. The other question is, does Benedict's idea of obedience, the way he describes it, conflict with contemporary culture and psychology? And certainly some of the ways he describes it is from a very traditional, pre-modern, hierarchical kind of structure of command. But as I've tried to suggest, I think there is much more in what he's saying than just an external hierarchy. The word obedience, as you all know, comes from the word audire, to listen, or to pay attention to. We are disobedient when we fear, when our ego is too weak, when we're oversensitive, or when we are insensitive to the message that's coming to us, that we can't hear it. We simply can't pay attention to it because we don't hear it, because you ask somebody to do something and it's like a bomb going off in their psyche. They're oversensitive to So it isn't always about doing things, of course, do this or do that. But these moments where we really understand how obedient we are is when our will, our personal will, is challenged. And we are asked to do something that we don't want to do, or to do it now rather than to do it later. And these life, and this is the beauty of Benedict's vision of life, life is constantly giving you opportunities every day, hundreds of them, testing moments, showing how your relationship with yourself, your own healing, with the world, with other people, people you live or work with, and your relationship with God, the ground of your being, how that is, how that's going. These are litmus tests. Here in Bonvo, we take our temperature every day at the beginning of the day because of COVID. And, you know, these moments during the day when our quality of obedience is tested, these are like testing moments. Of course, the person giving the command, as Benedict says, or the person asking you to do something, and there's a very different way of doing that in modern culture, modern psychology, but the one giving the command needs to be very well trained in obedience herself, to put it across in the best way and respond in the best way, both psychologically and spiritually, with gentleness, with clarity, with patience. So, as Benedict says about the abbot has to obey the rule and listen to the community. So, obedience is a relational quality of how we live together and how we listen to the word of God sounding through each other. And it's not only about doing, it may be about seeing that somebody is in need, that somebody needs your attention or needs a little bit of intervention without invading their space. And that is also obedience, not being frightened to respond to the needs of the moment, even if they're not consciously expressed. And finally, you know, meditation teaches us what obedience is from the very first moment. And meditation, the regular practice of meditation, develops this quality of obedience in us as a more and more as a habit of mind, as it brings out our true nature, as it deals with and heals what needs to be dealt with and healed in our own baggage and the purification process, so that we gain in confidence to be ourselves and to act naturally. Remember, obedience is a natural response from the other-centered person who's other-centered is naturally obedient. And in meditation, what are we obedient to? Well, of course, we're obedient to the practice, the daily practice. But within that practice, we are listening to the mantra in the purest obedience. So saying the mantra, sounding the mantra, listening to the mantra in those times of meditation is the purest obedience, and it makes us obedient in all the situations of our daily life. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lawrence. So much in that talk, which we could go over again and listen to again. It's on will be on YouTube. And the questions you posed about where is obedience in the oblate life. I mean, you've given us a prompting to try and seek to answer that for ourselves, and to see our meditation practice as a way of opening our hearts so that we can listen and be more attentive in our lives to what God and others are prompting us to. So thank you for that. And I'll hand back to our prayer leaders. Moment, remember Steve from Australia and Novia from Indonesia to bring the meeting to an end with this time of prayer.
May the divine assistance remain always with us.
With our absent brothers and sisters. Amen.
And it just leaves me to say a big thank you to Stefan for hosting today, to our two prayer leaders for leading us so beautifully in prayer, and to Father Lawrence, who always inspires and uplifts. Thank you all, and I look forward to seeing you again next week.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Father Lawrence.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye.
Bless you.
Nice week.
Bye.
Thank you.
God bless.
God bless you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
God bless.
Have a nice day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So I think the comments start reaching
Thank you, Father Lawrence.
in general, right?
Yeah.
Obedience. So true.
Marianne. Hi, Magda. Hi.
Yes, Jam?
Hi, everybody.
Marianne, my device is not cooperating. Will you
Right.
do me the biggest favor of copying
Yes,
the
I will.
chat
Do.
messages?
Yes, no problem. Yep.
Grazie. Thank you.
Good to see you, JM.
Hi, Magda. Hi, Fred. I am much better. Thank you
Have
for
a
your
nice week. God bless all of you.
Thank you.
Take care.
And you.
Thank you, Julia. To the last minute.
Yes, okay, JM.
This is incredible, but we'll see. Maybe
Well,
I need to.
Alan, did you see Alan came in, JM?
No, I didn't, but he has
He
put
did,
us on YouTube. Did you
yeah,
notice?
only 8 minutes, but he said he will be able to do the whole thing, so he'll send me the link later.
Oh,
So,
wonderful, wonderful.
good. Yeah, that's good.
Thank you. Thank you, Julia, for being patient with my.
Okay, it's okay.
I'll find holy water and bless all of this.
Yeah, sprinkle it all. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. God bless.
Yes,
See you
thank
next
you.
week.
Thank you, Marianne. Yes, thank you. See you next week. Babush.
Bye.
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 I'm going to stop the recordings now, Julia.
Oh, sorry. Yes. Okay. If everyone would like to leave now. No rush, Mary, just take your time.
Thank you.
That's all right. That's right, that's it. Yeah, I don't know. Well, no, carry on.